Hello, my name is Michael Wolf, and I am running for the position of Commodore of Club Cruceros. I am running because I see a problem, and I think it needs to be solved, and I'd like to do so. Pardon my notes. I hope to show that I am the most qualified to solve these problems. I'm hopeful that everybody is aware of these problems. I think they're pretty obvious. If not, I will definitely be pointing them out. Basically, what should Club Cruceros be is right there on the website. I'll summarize. It says provide assistance to the boating community. I don't see much of that going on. Center for Social Events, which I think is just about all the club does, from what I can tell. Emergency assistance for boaters. No, I don't see any of that. Local relations with officials. I see a lot of that, but I don't see it as being anywhere near appropriate for what it should be. I do see charitable programs, but I don't see how they're benefiting the boating community. And goodwill among the communities, and I definitely don't see that. I've witnessed firsthand a lot of conflict between the boating community, the community that runs Club Cruceros, which is not the boating community, and the land-based communities. There's not a lot of goodwill. So I think there's some problems there. I think they need to be solved, and I have some ideas on how to solve them. Some proposed changes I would like to see made. First and foremost is changing the net. There's some components of the net that do not make for goodwill and good relations and good service to the boating community. I'd like to see that changed. I'd like to see the bylaws amended or changed to adjust the focus of the club and to enshrine that in the bylaws, to remind people that the focus of the club is the boating community. That's the boaters that are out there on the water, and that crews that come into La Paz and leave La Paz, visit, return, but don't necessarily live here as retirees in a marina or on land, especially. There's a lot of specific changes I'd like to see made, especially in providing opportunities for other people to provide services. For example, the section on the net for local assistance has dissolved into a commercial festival for local businesses, that most of which aren't even legal as far as I know. So I would like to see a proposed change that unless you have a legitimate business, that you don't advertise on the net. And in fact, I would like to see that not even commercial businesses advertise on the net. I'd like to see it limited to people who are here visiting, can provide services, and don't plan on living here and making money off of it. For example, I have skills. I'd like to be able to offer those to people and be reasonably compensated for them. Why not? Let's propose a marine economic zone. The club can administer it, and anybody and everybody can have the opportunity, not just the people who have been here for years, who retired here, and who have taken advantage of the lax laws and regulations to financially exploit the situation. I don't think that's conducive to the club. I think it needs to be changed. Why me? Well, I believe I'm the most qualified. I believe that hands down. I don't know anybody else even close to qualified to do this because of the situation for me. I am highly intelligent. I'm a genius. And I reason at what's called universal ethics, which means my perspective is everyone's. I try to always be right all the time, which is what universal perspective is. I try to reason through everyone's perspective, not just my own. I actively work to that end. I don't live just for myself. I live in a world knowing that I have to live with other people, so I act accordingly. So my efforts for the club are not going to be for personal reasons. They're motivated because of personal experiences, but they are not motivated by personal experience. I came here 5 years ago. I've had a lot of difficulties. The club not only wasn't there for me, but was a complete disservice to me because of its very nature, driven by rumors and issues like that. The club does not serve the boating community, not equally. Another example for those who have been here long enough to remember is 5 years ago when Hurricane Odile happened. There was a few people who died, and I believe that those deaths all could have been prevented if the club was a little differently structured. So yeah, I'm very intelligent. I am aligned universally perspective-wise. I don't give a shit about anybody's personal issues or personal anything. I don't like anybody. Okay? I don't like anybody. I'm not going to play favorites. It's that simple. My interest is in the club. My interest is in seeing the club serve boaters. I want to be able to come back here in 5 years and say, oh yeah, it's still the way I foresaw it. It's still the way it should be. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the club helping people. I have a lot of very big ideas, actually, for the club. We could take this club worldwide and make money from it. Other reasons why I'm qualified for this. I'm disabled, but only socially. So I don't get along with people. I don't need to get along with people to run a club. In fact, the less I get along with people, the better, right? You know, I can get along with people in professional means, but I don't do well socially. I'm not out there to socialize with the local officials. I'm not out to socialize with people. I'm out there to get things done. So my disabilities are an advantage in that regard. My personal interests align with the club's stated purpose. I'm a boater. I'm a cruiser. I'm not here to retire. I'm not here to make money. I came here to Mexico 5 years ago, seeking refuge, actually, so that I could find a place that I could work on, complete my boat, so that I can then leave and be done with society altogether, because I don't do social. So the club doesn't serve that purpose for me. It's served quite against that purpose, actually, and I'd like to do something about that. And anyone else here who is a boater that the club should be benefiting will benefit from my work in the club as a Commodore. So another part of my disability is that I can't be dishonest. If you can't remember a lie, you can't tell one, can you? So you got that on you. So yeah, my disabilities lead me to get taken advantage of. I'm not disabled to the point where I can't do anything. I'm disabled to the point where I can't be able to operate in a situation where it's social is necessary. Which is why I want to change the club, because it's all social now. I also have in-depth experience and knowledge. You can go to disperso.info, you can read my CV. I'll be adding a lot more things to it because, you know, memory problems, I forget, including forgetting what skills I have. Most of all, I can get the job done. Well, no, actually, most of all, I can do it with my experience in light of I can do it because of my experience in light of the limitations I have. If you go to my website, disperso.info, you can read a couple of stories I wrote that detail my experiences coming here, including the fact that I've never sailed before. This is my first boat. I purchased this thing. I decided to sail for life on July 15th, 2012, and by September 3rd, I purchased this vessel. And this will be my permanent home until I build a bigger one out of cement. And yes, I am building ferro cement. And I've written here something I think is important. Voting for officers of the club is not a popularity contest like politics. This is far too important to trust people you like. You need someone to bust heads, not fluff their pillows. I'm not in there to make people happy. I'm in there to get the job done. So don't vote for me because you like me, and don't not vote for me because you hate me. And certainly don't not vote for me because you don't understand who I am or because you believe I'm somebody I'm not. Find out. Ask me. Find out what's going on. Find out what I know. Find out what I can do. And you'll see that I can get the job done. Panga going by. Overall, I see that Club Cruceros has lost its purpose. I see that, and I see that something can be done about it, and I see that I can do something about it. So I am going to run for the office of Commodore of Club Cruceros. I'm going to get in there, I'm going to bust some heads, and I'm going to get things done. And I'm going to walk in being hated by everybody. I know this, I realize this, I'm ready for it. I don't care. I'm not here to please anybody. I'm here to get the job done, turn La Paz's Club Cruceros into the best goddamn yachting club there is. And as far as what we can do with this club, there's a whole lot. Think an app, think a private corporation, think franchising Club Cruceros around the whole world. Why not? There's a lot of possibilities we can do with this club. There's a lot of things we can do. But it has to start with getting the right staff, the right board of directors in there to make the changes that are necessary. I understand it's a lot of work. I'm not really interested in doing this work. It's the last thing I want to do is do anything with this community, especially after what they've done to me. But I've got some time. I'm going to have to be in among you for some time while I get my boat finished. So I might as well put some effort out and get things done to help everybody, myself included. Yes, there's going to be a lot of people upset, but that needs to happen. There's been a lot of people getting away with a lot for way too long, and that needs to be changed. I am going to talk to local authorities and try and coordinate regularization so that we can regularize, legitimize, legalize some of these businesses that offer important services. But again, I'm also going to see to it that anybody else that has services that can offer them can do so. Why not have a maritime economic zone in the marinas, in the bay? You can do business, not have to pay taxes, not have to register, but only if you're on a tourist visa. Legitimately, being here for 25 years on a tourist visa doesn't qualify you. Sorry, Mr. Yeah. So those are the kinds of changes I'd like to see. Let's get legalized. Let's get regular. Let's not have to admit to conspiracy on the net, trading for coconuts because it's not legal for us to sell. No. One of the other ideas I have is a consignment store operated by the club, hosted by perhaps Don Jose. Instead of having a swap meet every 2 weeks or every month or randomly, I guess it seems like sometimes, why don't we just have a regular sale where people can drop off their items for consignment, they can trade them for other items, or they can sell them. And you don't have to pay taxes because you are not selling it. You are having someone else sell it for you. So you don't need to pay taxes. And because it's in a maritime economic zone, maybe there aren't any taxes necessary. And let's provide, last idea I have, the services directory. No more freebies. You want to be in the services directory, you got to pay. Let's make money off the services directory. If you have a business and you are making profit off of people in the club, then by all means you should be charged money for your advertising. Makes sense. That's how it's done in every other capitalist market. So those are just some of the ideas that I can try to put into place. I've got a friend working to try and get in as Vice Commodore, and I'd like to see other people step up to the plate and sign up as candidates as well. I would like to have an entire board of directors with me to do this. I would like to do this without any difficulties. We just come in, we debate, we decide, and we implement. And within 1 year, we have a brand new, legal, in the state of Mexico, in the country of Mexico, Club Cruceros. And if you weren't aware, no, Club Cruceros is, as far as I have heard, not a legal entity in Mexico. So it doesn't operate legally, which is why there are some of the issues we've witnessed is I've heard some things about theft. Now that's not going to happen anymore. All right, well that's my platform, I guess, so far. Hopefully this take works and you can be viewing it on YouTube or wherever.